Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look next book in the game book series that I've been just knocking out a few books have here and there. It's called Neverland. Here There Be Monsters is sort of a new take on Peter Pan and Wendy, which is also a popular movie, which I actually haven't read. I've just seen the movie, but I'm basically familiar with it and so forth. This is a longer game book by Jonathan Green. That was, this was a sequel to the Kickstarter that I picked up in the ACE Gamebook series. That was Kickstarted called Alice's Nightmare in Wonderland about 10 years ago or so. So this is kind of fun. And I liked it, knocked it out in the last couple of nights for about an hour and a half each day. So it was about more of a 2-day read as opposed to the previous one that I knocked out that was set in Oz, The Wicked Wizard of Oz. That was about 1 day of reading in about 2 hours. So I blew through it pretty quickly. This one was more of a traditional game book reading length. So, typically you spend a 1 day reading it and then maybe half another day or a full day reading it. And that was basically what happened in this one. Now, if you recall in the first one, Alice's Nightmare in Wonderland, you are Alice. And you have a variety of skills and endurance combat that determines who goes first and who deals the damage. You each roll 2d6 and add them. And then you also have logic to think your way out of distances. You also have an insanity that starts at 0, and as insane things happen, you'll rise. And then you also have agility to dodge things. And then in the next book that I knocked out, in the Great Wizard of Oz, the Wicked Wizard of Oz, that one has you are 4 characters. And instead of choosing your stats, which start with, I believe, 6, and then you can add 10 to each of them, up to 5 each one. In this case, you actually are choosing one of 4 characters to play throughout the 4 survivors and protagonists of Oz. And then you have selected stats, and you also have abilities, too, that are specialized for that character, rather than just the 2 that you had as Alice. Now, if you recall, Alice was about a 4-day read, although the last 2 only have an hour. I thought there would be enough for a lot more, but I was a lot closer to the end than I thought I was. So it was a 4-day read, but the first day was only an hour and a half, or if I'd known, or the third day was an hour and a half too. And if I'd known that, I just would have bet a half an hour after my news from 9 to 10. So I would have done something like that. So it was a 4-day read, but it was definitely longer, epic. And it was definitely some fun stuff. The second one was a faster 2-hour read that I knocked out the Oz one. But you're choosing 4 characters, so it was both more replayable because you have 4 characters, and less replayable because there just wasn't as much stuff to do. Items. It didn't feel as epic or as dark as this darker retake as the Alice's Wonderland, and it didn't feel with as much stuff to do. Not as many items, right? It was a much faster, less epic read. So, although it didn't have some of the frustrating things like the hinge in the middle, the hedge maze, rather, that's in the middle, that I kept trying. I spent like a day trying to read it and get through it, and eventually I just looked up a walkthrough to figure out how to do it because that was frustrating. So I felt it was less frustrating, and more rereadable, not as epic or as deep as Alice. So I gave them both 7s. And this one also has 4 characters. You're choosing Tiger Lily, which is the one I chose, and then the daughter of the tribe, or you can do Peter Pan, who has a jetpack, or you could do Wendy, who is has just crashed, or you can do Captain Hook, who seems to have his own adventure. In Oz, all 4 of you joined up pretty quickly, and we're a party of 4 for much of the Here you have a party of 3: the Tiger Lily, which I chose, Peter Pan, and Wendy. But Captain Hook I never ran into, so that character probably has his own distinct thing. I chose Tiger Lily for a couple of reasons. Everybody except for Tiger Lily starts with a companion that will drop the combat skill of the opposing by 2, which is pretty good. But Tiger Lily starts with a steed named Fang. It's a saber claw character and who'll be dealing 4 damage instead of the 2 damage that you'll be dealing. You also start with tracking, which is good, and mastery of strength, so you can show your strength to others. And then you also have 2 abilities that you can choose from: plant lore, animal lore, and reading the hieroglyphs. And because of the description of plant lore seemed to indicate that you could get healing plants and such, I chose that one, and then also hieroglyphs because I figured that would probably come in pretty handy too. And so this was pretty fun. And then So I like Tiger Lily. Tiger Lily starts with an 11 at combat, so that's really good, and a 10 agility. Just like if you recall, the previous one I played in Oz was the Lion with a 10 agility. He was the agility king and a 10 combat too. Well, this one has actually the same agility, a 10 agility, also the agility king, but the best combat, but a very low endurance at just 20. So that's the main issue with you as Tiger Lily. I like Tiger Lily. I thought that was good. I'd definitely be willing to try out, Captain Hook. Captain Hook starts with a mutiny, mutineers. Stats much like the insanity stack from Alice's Nightmare Wonderland. You do not want to rise as you take actions that your crew might mutiny against, and so you don't want to get them to mutiny. So I think that might be an interesting try the next time I go back and read it. So this is just as rereadable as the Oz one, because there are 4 different characters, lots of different things that are happening, and a lot of epic quests that are happening. It's also more epic than that one, but it still lacks some of the depth of Alice's one Nightmare. For example, there's no logic or a brains ability that you might start with to outthink your opponents, like there would be in the previous one, right? So it still feels as, although there's more items than the previous one. But I just don't feel like it has as much of an epic feel as Alice's Wonderland. But it's a 2-day read. I definitely liked it. So I'm giving this a 7 out of 10 too. But they're all different 7s, even though I've given them a 7 each. I hope you understand where I'm coming from that. So this is, again, a game book. So you're rolling dice to determine who wins. 2 die 6s. Also, you're doing combat trials and so forth. You're tracking yourself through the game. It's like a choose your own adventure combined with an RPG. I feel like this is less, just like Oz. This feels less detailed for kids or younger or early teens and such. So I definitely think this is a good thing for them because it's not a sequel to Peter Pan, but just sort of a retelling of Peter Pan and Wendy. I don't think that's a major issue to have not read it. I was never lost because I knew who all these characters were. So I thought that was pretty good. So there you are. I'll go ahead and leave you to it. Have you read this? If so, what did you think about it? Did you agree or disagree with my 7 out of 10? I'll be happy to talk with you about it in the comments below. If you like this video, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more of these that follow. Hit the like button, the bell button. If you're feeling frisky, to be notified of my 3 videos a week. And then also to share it with your friends. And then finally, I just want to pause just to take a moment to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. Because we all have so many things that are happening in our lives. And we're pulled in so many different directions, right? So the fact that you spent this time with me, that's incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it once again. Thanks and have a great day.